What's up, everybody? It's Mike with Triple Crown, back here with Rusty Gerhardt, part of our TC Top Prospects and Don Reynolds baseball group. Rusty, thanks for jumping on, man.
You bet. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, where have you been in the baseball world? How you got started with the game as a player from a young age all the way up through, scouting.
Yeah. Grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. Started playing when I was 8. Played Little League. Dad and Mom were always at the games. Had a good support system and played in high school. Had some success. In Baltimore, we only played 12 games for a high school season, so most of the baseball was played in the summer. And had a chance to pitch in Memorial Stadium in Baltimore when I was 12 for the city championship. So I was always on teams with good players. I still remember some of those guys, still in touch with some of those guys. High school was really cool. And even though we only played a short season, had success there. Got a chance to go to college on partial scholarship and later full scholarship to Clemson in South Carolina, and did well there. Played on good teams again. Had some success. Every summer I'd go off and play. Went to Cape Cod in the summer, my first year. South Dakota was the place to go back then, and back in the dark ages. And then I had a chance to play in the Wichita, Kansas NBC tournament. Did well there. Got a chance to go to Fairbanks, Alaska and play after my junior year. And had the exposure that and went off and played, made some sacrifices with family and stuff. And because baseball is what I wanted to do, and got a chance to get drafted by the Padres out of Clemson, and played and managed and coached with them for 12 years. And, and played with some really cool guys, got a little time in the big league and championship teams along the way in the minor leagues. We had some great players that I played with, and, had some success there. And if they like you when you're done playing, they ask you to stick around and coach. So I did that, and later got a chance to join the Texas Rangers as a coach. And of course, had all those guys back in the 80s that were growing up together and wound up in the big leagues. Had a chance to coach with those guys. And then I had a chance to scout. I ran into a guy. It took him 10 years to hire me because, it's hard to take the uniform off once you get involved in the game. And but he caught me at a weak moment, and I worked for the Major League Scouting Bureau for almost 30 years. I had Texas and the central part of the country, did some cross-checking and international stuff, Latin America, South America, Australia. Had those opportunities, saw a lot of players. So, yeah, I mean, that was my full reign, and had a good start because of my parents and family. And, it's been pretty cool last 50 years to be involved in baseball. And that's what we're doing this summer with Triple Crown, going out and watching young guys play.
Yeah. 50 years. That's a long time, man. That's about double my age. I can't wait for the type of knowledge that you're going to drop on us here, and the things that you've seen over the years, both as a player, manager, and as a scout.
I'll see what I can do.
I gotcha. So from being a scout with the Major League Scouting Bureau, and then being a part of Don's group and scouting, at all of our different tournaments this past summer, what were some of the expectations you came in from going from scouting, guys that are going to play at a professional level to guys that might, but a little bit younger at 14, 15?
Well, actually, first of all, I was really excited when Don called, former teammate on the Amarillo AA team in the Texas League with the Padres way back. And I was very excited to be a part of what he was thinking about doing. And once we got started, it was what I expected. Watching young 14, 15, 16-year-old players is what I always did with the Bureau when I was scouting, because I was the kind of the first guy to make contact with the player, seeing them at a young age. Being with the Bureau, my job was to help the 30 teams find talent. So looking at 14, 15-year-olds was not new to me. My job was to identify and report on prospective talent. The young guys that are talented that I thought were prospects, they show up early. And I'm sure that's one of the questions coming up here. How do you know what to look for? But to answer your question about my expectations, they're about what I thought. And seeing what I've seen this summer with the Triple Crown events, there's some talent out there. And it was exciting to see it. It was exciting to report on it. And I have a lot of good anticipation about the future events.
Yeah, absolutely. One coming up here with all the guys that you guys scouted and put the team together in Arizona. So you kind of gave me a layup there for my next question. Whenever you guys are,
we segued into that. Okay.
Yeah, right. So whenever you are out there scouting and evaluating some of these guys, aside from some of the measurables or tools, I know those are a lot of things you're looking if a kid can hit for power or what a 60 time is. What are some other things that you're evaluating on these players?
Well, goes back to the old fella that signed me up to scout. I had some good training. As he put it, I was highly trained. So the things you look for, the fact that you maybe get a chance to see them get to the ballpark and watch how they get ready for a ball game, how they interact with their coaches and teammates. I watch them in the dugout. I watch them getting off the bus. I watch them, you certainly will recognize body types and things like that to begin with, what your eyes tell you. But when they start moving around and interacting with their teammates and players, other teams, those kind of things, I think you see or not see the passion they have for the game of baseball and what kind of interaction they show with their teammates on the field.
Yeah. So let's dig into that a little bit. For you, what tells you that a player, whenever he's in the dugout or getting ready for a game, what are some of the things that shows you that he's passionate about the game and he really wants to be there? Because I know I've seen that a lot with some players where they might think they're passionate, but then they show up and I might not see it as much as somebody else, or what they're saying doesn't necessarily align with what they're doing. So could you give us an example?
You can see the false hustle, can't you? If it's present. Yeah, that kind of thing. I think just the way do they watch the game? Are they into the game? Are they, if they're not on the field playing, are they still in the game? Are they rooting their teammates on? Little things like that. Are they with the coach or not with the coach, or are they interacting? Those kind of things. So are they helpful? Are they being a good teammate? I think you can notice those things if you just watch. And it's again, it all goes about how they go about doing things, not how they go about doing what they're doing, not just what they do physically. Right.
So another hot topic right now, obviously in baseball, is all the use of technology with the metrics and analytics of Rapsodo and Blast Motion and TrackMan. And like we talked about earlier, you being around the game for 50 plus years, have you seen it change at all with the way it's been played recently with all these new analytics and metrics than what it was, 20 years ago or 30 years ago whenever you were playing?
Yes, certainly. It's like it changed overnight. The all the shifts and all the moves that are made in the game now. I believe it's a human characteristic that tells you you don't accept change very well. I think baseball guys are resilient, and we see the benefit in certain things. But my question's always been, if it's not broke, why are you trying to fix it? I mean, it's been a great game all these 150 years or however long it's been since we've been playing the game and watching the game and part of Americana. And I think the way it's changed in the last 5 or 6 years with all the metrics, that's fine. As a scout for all those years, we used statistics. We used information, as much information as we could to make an evaluation. The old saying, if you're in doubt, stat them out. This is more towards the professional player. If you're watching professional teams play, and I always helped out with the pro side in scouting, our pro staff, because of the experience I had after I played and coached and managed. We were required to write reports also on every player in our league, whatever league we were in, as well as the players that we were managing and coaching on our team. So, the statistics and things like that we used are certainly have changed, because the basic batting average and ERA and things like that, winning percentage, we always used information like that, but there's so much more information now. I don't know whether it's a good thing. I don't know whether salary should be tied to the new statistics and analytics that we use, because for one thing, how many millions do you need? I don't begrudge players getting whatever they can to play the game professionally, but I think it has filtered down to a point where it's affecting the amateur game and negatively. And when it starts affecting the rest of the industry, I believe it's some things need to be looked at and be more serious about. How much are we paying one guy to play the game of baseball when it affects the rest of the industry? So I think it's had a negative effect, but that's just me personally. I don't have a problem with all the things they're using now, all the tools, the technical tools, if they're used properly. I don't think young kids should show up at the park and throw to a gun all the time. I think they need to learn how to pitch. Tracking balls and preparing your launch angle and things like that when you're working with young players, I don't believe those things should be talked about. There's always every player is different. And if you're teaching young guys to swing up, that's not a good thing, in my opinion. We should be teaching them how to put the barrel on the ball, no matter what league they're in and what age they are. I can't wait to get out later on today and work with the 9-year-old team I'm gonna go see this afternoon, and try and impart those things, pitching and throwing and catching and swinging the bat, just basic fundamentals that young guys should be learning.
Right. So from the scouting side, with all this information with spin rates and vertical and horizontal break and that sort of thing, do you think there's anything that's getting missed in scouting because of all these analytics and numbers that are coming out?
Yes, I do. Again, everybody's different. You can't cookie cut all these young players. If a guy, and I could cite examples about throwing, pitching, hitting, some things you look at and you go, wow, that's not going to work. Well, maybe it does for that guy. And that's part of the training that I have with scouting. You break them down. You talked about the tools, the physical tools. You break them down. They may not do it the way you want to see them do it, but you put them all back together after you break them down, and you ask yourself, can he handle it? Whatever it is mechanically that he's doing, can he handle what he's doing and be successful and be a productive player? And what's he going to be in the future? Some of those guys show up in the big leagues. I think that's a lot of where it's changed nowadays too. Some guys that I played with and played against, we were talking about this at a reunion last weekend. Some of those guys would have never got a chance to play because they didn't throw 100. They didn't throw 95. You learn how to pitch, change speeds, and locate. Those are the things that will get hitters out at any level, at any age. So in that respect, I think some of these new analytics are possibly not useful. And to my opinion, when I watch a ball game, I don't want to hear that stuff. I want to watch the game and listen to the announcer talk about baseball, not analytics.
Right. So with all, on the topic of newer technology and everything, and aside from the analytics, social media is a huge thing now. With players, college coaches, clubs, teams, parents, all on social media now. Do you have any type of advice for those guys and even, mom and dad that might be on Twitter or Instagram on the right way to use social media? Or have you ever heard anything, from the professional level or ownerships of teams on the best way to go about social media?
Well, social media kind of goes along with society nowadays, I think. And that what I've noticed is there's really no accountability for some of the things that are put on there, because you don't have to physically face anyone when you say something. And it gets a little crazy. And when I was scouting, the way I used social media was to see what the kid is saying on social media. And it kind of gives you an idea of what he's thinking, who he is. So my advice would be watch what you put on social media as a player, and the parents also. College recruiters, over the years, I saw some guys not recruit players because mom took down a big jug of Gatorade or something during the game and, flipped it over the fence to him or something like that. A lot of guys wouldn't recruit guys like that. Yeah, I mean, sounds crazy, but definitely happened. And I think, the parents have a lot to do with who college recruiters are going to recruit for their team. It's the support system. Some kids don't have that kind of support, and they're just out there, and that makes it even more difficult. But if you can hit, you're going to play, number one, and those kind of things with social media, the parents weighing in has an effect on recruiting, the recruiting process for sure. So I guardedly tell the parents, be careful what you put on social media, and as well as the players, and just remove all doubt that you want to play the game, that you want to be a player, and be a good teammate.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a crazy world where, you see all this stuff, and you're exactly right. Whenever, I don't think a lot of players, or especially in high school, really realize how much their Twitter or Facebook or Instagram can really be dug through.
Yeah.
But
it can be detrimental for sure.
Right. And that's the thing where you put it in perspective. If a Major League Baseball club is about to invest, hundreds of thousands or sometimes millions of dollars in you.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
be the right
They
personality
look
and
at
make sure you
everything.
have your head. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Just
Yeah.
like buying a car, right? I'm not going to go buy a car if I don't
Yes.
know how the brakes work. Type
Right.
thing.
Right.
But so leading into the Pathway Arizona tournament with the two TC top prospects teams coming up here in a few weeks, September 17th. I know the tournament starts, and then you guys will be getting there a day early to go through a workout. What's the overall message that you're looking forward to giving to the players that you and Don and the rest of the scouts put together? What's that message for the tournament coming up that weekend?
Well, I think be open-minded, listen. We got they have an opportunity to be on the same field with a bunch of guys that have seen a bunch of baseball. And, working with players over the years, I remember working with a guy in spring training, Rob Nan was his name, with the Rangers. I had him in farm director, came down, asked me to take him over and watch Nolan Ryan's pregame workout on the big field. So I walk him over there. We're talking. I'd had been working with this guy for spring training during the time I was there, and I went over there and we watched Nolan, and he said some things to him. It was the same thing I had been telling him, but it was coming from Nolan Ryan. So, it worked. It clicked. It sometimes it's just saying things a little different. That's why I would say to the players, young players that are going to be there, listen to what you hear, try what they're saying, because I've seen all these guys work that are on our staff. They're dedicated baseball men, very knowledgeable. They've worked with young players all their lives, and they have a bunch of information to pass on. And that's what baseball guys do. We pass on what we have learned to the younger players. And it's not rocket science. It's good stuff. And I think if they're listening and being open-minded and having fun and paying attention, I think it's going to be a great weekend. I really do. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so are we.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get out there. I'll be out there myself. So I'm excited to watch you guys and just see what goes on out there and see how they compete.
Can you hit?
I mean, I could hit some fungos for you if you need me to.
Absolutely. I'm not picking one up. That's for sure. Can't do that anymore. Yeah.
I got, you just tell me where you want it hit. I'll be there. So we kind of talked about it a little bit before with the parents and social media. If you had to give one major piece of advice to parents who have athletes, what would that advice be?
I think be careful who you let them spend time with, number one. A lot of guys want a piece of that guy because he's going to be a guy. And, the development of a young player, I think is when they reach 15, 16 years old, it's the time to start playing big boys ball, and the parents should pay attention to who they're spending time with, baseball wise, I'm talking about, and also off the field. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future, kind of thing. The parents need to hear that message, I think. And you don't need to send your kid to 3-4 lessons a week. Give them good information and let them go home and work on it. And periodically there should be some reinforcement, but there's no need to spend a lot of money on 2, 3, 4 times a week going to the lesson and working with a guy that may or may not be reinforcing good things mechanically or whatever. And I think they need to pay more attention to who they're putting them with.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
see a lot of that now.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a product of the environment around you, right?
Yes, absolutely. No question.
So with the tournament coming up here, and we kind of mentioned it a little bit before, this is the first year that we've had the partnership with Don and the TC Top Prospects program, from players being evaluated, from Arizona to Texas to South Carolina to Nebraska. What is something that you think is a little bit different or stands out with the TC Top Prospects compared to some other organizations that might do something similar?
Well, I found that there's a tremendous following. I know Triple Crown's been around a long time, and I was surprised at the turnout and the quality of some of the players. I think there were some big league prospects at some of these events, and if you find one at an event, like I'm talking for 4 or 5 day tournament event, if you find one major league prospect, that's a very successful time. If everybody could do it, it wouldn't be that difficult, But I thought the Triple Crown events were run well. They were organized. The kids, the teams that were involved were, I was very excited. I was surprised to see being in Texas, I don't get to see teams from Nebraska or Minnesota or Wisconsin on the upper part of the country. And there was some talent on those teams. They may have also been hockey players, but that's okay. They were really good athletes. And those were some of the kids that I really enjoyed watching play. They're going to be good if they stick with it.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Well, Rusty, we're looking forward to seeing you out in Arizona here in a few short weeks, man. I hope you enjoy your 9-year-old practice here later. Get them moving, get them catching, throwing, and everything.
I don't have a 9-year-old. Let me put yeah, don't be confused. I'm just going to help a friend. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.
All righty. Well, awesome, Rusty. Thanks again for jumping on, man, and taking the time, and we'll see you soon.
You bet, Mike. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Rusty.
All right.